Welcome everyone to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see program on YouTube today. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As you may know, I am not ridiculously over Anthony Floyo. This is actually good old MF Michael Fletcher. I'm filling in for Anthony Floyo tonight. Unfortunately, there was an issue, server connection problems, and Anthony will not be on the show tonight. We hope to have him on the show on the last minute. He asked me to fill in as host for the evening, which I will do, alongside the Twisted Angel Dee Woodson and the Phenom Michael Bullock. And don't worry, Anthony, the show is in good hands. You can trust me. I will not drive this off a cliff. So, with that said, tonight we are going to talk about Monday Night Raw, the first Raw since the Superstar shakeup, and I guess you could say, in all attempted purposes, the go home show to the greatest Royal Rumble ever that's going down this Friday, live from Saudi Arabia on the WWE Network. Special start time of 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. for all you fans out there in the West Coast. And for my good friends in the UK, a little bit of a break, 5 o'clock in the afternoon for our good friends in jolly old England. So whatever the case may be, get down there. Tickets are sold out for this event, and they are making this into a WrestleMania-esque event. If you've been looking at the photos lately, the stage setup looks amazing. And they also said there's going to be pyrotechnics that's going to be at this show. So for the second time this year, Pyro's going to be in a WWE show. So they're really making this a huge event. So with that said, we started off Monday Night Raw from the Scott Trade Center in St. Louis, Missouri. First off, a unbelievable, a beautiful tribute to Bruno Sammartino, Vince McMahon, all the professional wrestlers out at the arena floor, right at the rampway, as they tolled the bell 10 times, and a beautiful video package by WWE as they honor the living legend, Bruno Sammartino. As many of you guys know, Bruno passed away about a week or so ago. Myself and Anthony Floyo got to do a very special edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, and we talked about the life of Bruno Sammartino and what he meant to at least us as a whole. Michael Bullock, Dee Woodson, if you'd like to put your 2 cents in, we'll do it after the first segment. But WWE, once again, very classy on an amazing job that he did. So I got really nothing bad to say about it. We started off with Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman, as they were basically hyping the greatest Royal Rumble ever, talking about how they destroyed Roman Reigns and beat him at WrestleMania, and that they were going to do it again. Roman then comes out, basically, it was really one of those segments that he was going to go home, take the title. I mean, it was a good segment. It was real well done. Nice final hype for the greatest Royal Rumble ever. That's going to go down on Friday, like I said. So I really think it was really nothing bad to say. It was really beautifully done, well constructed. The fans actually sided with Roman a little bit. It was definitely, the St. Louis fans were definitely a lot more nicer, a lot more forgiving, even though I think the promo wasn't as strong for Roman Reigns. But then again, he's not ever strong on the mic. So, I mean, it was solid. It was good. Nothing more to say. So, Michael Bullock, it's all yours, my friend.
Yeah, I thought this was a very well done segment here. Nice final push for these two as they get ready for their Universal title steel cage match at the Greatest Royal Rumble Friday afternoon here in the U.S. and basically in the evening out there. So definitely, I mean, no physicality. That was a good thing there. So yeah, I mean, nice exchange by both men. So definitely a nice final hype to this big matchup coming up on Friday. So really got nothing more to say. So Dee Woodson, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, the segment and the tribute were both a very good way to start off Raw tonight. You know, I don't know, what to say about Bruno other than that he's going to be missed. I mean, I've got a lot of memories, but it would probably take most of the show to go through them all. So I'm not gonna make too much of a comment there, other than he's missed and he was one of the good guys, one of the best. The segment that it was definitely very well done. The crowd definitely was behind Roman Reigns for a change, and you know, Heyman did his spiel, Reigns did his little short talk, and you know, it just ended up being a great way to start Raw. So not much more I have to say about it. Fletch, go on.
All right, the next thing that we had was our first fight of the night, as it was Elias going one-on-one with one of the new acquisitions of Monday Night Raw from the Superstar Shakeup, Bobby Roode, the glorious Bobby Roode. But when it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 11 minutes and 15 seconds, strum your guitar, we will walk with Elias. Elias with a huge victory. Michael Bullock, it's all yours.
Boy, I'll tell you this, Fletch. I mean, I don't think anybody saw this coming. I mean, the first thing that goes through your mind when you see this, you're thinking, "Oh, Bobby Roode's going over here." Nope, that's not the case. And this was a good, solid match here. I'm gonna give it about 3 stars. And yeah, I mean, a shocking victory. I mean, Elias gets the victory here, and yeah, I mean, everybody's walking with Elias now. I mean, but I think at the end, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be worrying about anything. I think Bobby Roode will bounce back here. I mean, this is just, I mean, his first singles match on Raw, and I don't think it's going to affect him in the long haul. So, good match here and a surprising outcome. 3 stars is my rating. So Dee Woodson, a shocking outcome, and looks like we end up walking with Elias tonight.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, why they put Elias over on this, because I mean, you would think you brought in Bobby Roode from SmackDown, you'd want to have, your new acquisition come out on top. But I'm not the monkey rider, so it was an okay match. It was solid at first, and really set up a feud, but it kind of got lethargic after a while, and felt more like a house show match. So I'm only going to give it 2 stars. So not much more I'm going to say about it. Fletch, take it.
I'm going to meet you guys halfway here. This is at least 2.5. I mean, it was a solid match. Definitely better for what it was worth. I mean, it got plenty of time. 11 minutes is actually not bad, especially on a Monday Night Raw show. So, I mean, it was definitely amazing. It was strong. It was powerful. I loved it. Um, I just have to say congratulations to Elias. I mean, big win for him. But I wonder, could this start being one of those things where maybe, you know, I know a lot of people felt like Bobby Roode kind of didn't get utilized correctly on SmackDown Live. I've heard a lot of people say that, even though Bobby Roode was the United States champion and, going in there, it was really, he looked pretty well, but this is not really your first good step if you think about it. To bring Bobby Roode in to be possibly one of the biggest acquisitions for Monday Night Raw, yet you have him lose his you could legitimately say this was his first official one-on-one match since the shakeup. Yes, he did fight last week, but that was like a big 10-man net. You could protect him on this situation. This was straight up one-on-one, and he lost to Elias of all people. I mean, there's definitely something more than what meets the eye there, but neither here or there, and we'll just leave it at that. All right. So the next thing we had was a tag team fight. It was, I guess you could say, the Woken Warriors, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, versus the Ascension, Connor and Victor. And when it was all said and done, yes, the Woken Warriors, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt gets the victory, 3 minutes and 55 seconds, which means, the tradition, green beans for everybody, and swish squish. Let me do that again. Squish fish patty on a bun. I gotta make it right because this is Florio's thing, so I gotta do him the justice on that. And just for him, they shall fade away and classify themselves as obsolete.
Obsolete, yeah.
Thank you, Bullock. I always knew you. I can always count on you for that. So,
well, me
yes,
and Florio, we always do that. So I had to basically do it for him.
Unfortunately, the Ascension tonight were the obsolete mules. So Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy gets the victory. More momentum for them going into the greatest Royal Rumble ever for Friday. And the big tag team title fight against now SmackDown's The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro. Didi, what's in? Probably not much to talk about. Short fight, but good momentum for Hardy and Wyatt going into Saudi Arabia on Friday afternoon.
Very good momentum going in. The match was okay. I'm going to give it 2 stars. They're, the Woken Warriors, as they're calling themselves, are proving to be, a pretty viable tag team. Because here they're taking out all these already established teams. And the little promo they did before the match, I kind of got into it. I kind of thought that was kind of cool. How they were, in sync, on key, just completely with each other. And they're starting to act like, let's see, how can I word this right? The team itself works as well as a well-oiled machine as Matt and Jeff did, but in a different way, I guess is the best way to put it. So, I like the way this team's forming. I've not, for a long time there, I wasn't that big supporter of Wyatt, but, seeing this combination, it's different. It's, even with all the wackiness that the two of them have, it works. So, hey, congratulations to them. I always tell Fletch I'll give him pizza because he doesn't like green beans. So, hey, you get pizza. We'll eat the fish and green beans. So, I pass it to you, Brother Fletcher.
All right. Yeah, I'll give it the 2 stars. I thought it was solid for what it was worth. It was not bad. It was a good match. And I definitely am understanding what Dee Dee's talking about with the chemistry, and that was one thing I think we all kind of were wondering is, wait a minute, Matt Hardy and Wyatt, how's this going to turn out? And if you notice with their entrances, they start out with Matt Hardy. Well, they didn't. They did same thing last week. It was they just brought something to the table that I don't think a lot of people really ever expected, and that's really Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt and them working together. It's kind of like, wow, it's one of those strange bedfellow type things. You never ever expected these two entities to come together and unite. And if you really think about this was almost like Cesaro and Sheamus, and it's almost life imitating art. If you remember, Cesaro and Sheamus were battling it out, going to war, basically trying to see who is the better man. And if you remember, there was a 7-fight series about this. And at the end, it led to them basically coming together as a tag team, and the rest is history. Sheamus and Cesaro, the Bar, is without a doubt one of those successful tag teams in WWE, 4-time Raw Tag Team Champions, and who knows what they're going to bring to the table on SmackDown Live. I cannot wait to see them in action tomorrow. And so it's almost the same thing. It is Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. They were going at it. They were having this great war, and it ended in the ultimate deletion. We saw it with our own eyes at the Hardy compound, which was, and I'll even admit it wasn't as great as the other Hardy battles were in the compound, like in Impact Wrestling, but this one was really good, beautifully done, and it brought some of that awesomeness to us and made us feel pretty damn good after the fight was over. And now all of a sudden, they're best buds. It's like it's the weirdest thing. You got two oddball characters in Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, and some way, somehow, they've put it together, and this Woken universe is starting to spread. And it could have been the moment when Bray got thrown into the lake of reincarnation, and now he's evolved into Brother Bray, I guess. It's just, it could come full circle on Friday if they walk away with the tag team titles. It could. Very much so. So, 2 stars for the fight. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll give it 2 stars for the rating when it comes to the this match here. I mean, definitely gives some momentum for Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy going into their tag team title match or their Raw tag team title match against the newest members of SmackDown Live, the Bar. Yeah, so there's really nothing more that needs to be said. I mean, you pretty much touched on everything, so let's just move right along.
All right, then the next thing we actually moved on to a in-ring segment to start hour number 2, as it was Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and they were basically gloating over the fact, that now they're back on Monday Night Raw, the whole 9 yards. They introduced Kurt Angle, and basically it went on. They went, back and forth, and, a nice little exchange between the two men. And it actually led to a tag team fight later in the evening, as it ended up being Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and they're going to have to fight Bobby Lashley and a monster among men, Braun Strowman. Whoa, Nelly. All right, I'm going to say this. This was a good segment. This I could even easily call segment of the night because of the intrigue that these men were going after, going into it, that nice little brawl, whatever you want to talk about. It just felt good. I loved Sammy and Kevin, there being those obnoxious heels that you really don't like. You just would love to see them just get their butts kicked, without a doubt. And I know, Didi Woodson, you definitely are like, oh, great, here they go. Now they're going to start acting like this on Monday Night Raw. The same reason why you hated them on SmackDown Live, they're starting to become that thorn again on Raw, thinking that now that they're on Raw, you're thinking, oh, now they're going to try to get everything handed to them again. No. Kurt Angle kind of shot that down pretty quickly. Well, try to shoot it down pretty quickly and say, look, I'm going to I'm the GM here. I'm going to put I'm not going to have any personal vendetta, but you're definitely not going to thumb your nose or say that, whatever's whatever. So you can see that there's a lot of stuff going on. So it definitely got pretty intense. So definitely a good way. I like it. It is pretty strong. Strong segment for me. Segment of the night. Michael Bullock, it's all yours.
Yeah, I think this was the segment of the night. I love Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They're that badass heel team that makes you want to hate them. And yeah, make fun of how they're back on Raw and and then Kurt Angle comes out and they make a mockery of him, and Kurt Angle says, you know what, I'm putting you in a match for later on. It'll be you and Sami Zayn against Bobby Lashley and the monster among men, Braun Strowman. There's really nothing more that needs to be said. So, Didi Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, it was a solid segment. I'm going to kind of partially censor myself here. Kevin and Sammy pretty much played great a-holes. And, of course, they're got overexcited. They're just sitting here, condescending everybody, saying how great they are and everything. Love the old man reading glasses, if anybody caught that. I wasn't surprised that this is how they're going to act. Really wasn't, because pretty much, they were a-holes on SmackDown. They're going to be the same way on Raw. So, it doesn't matter who the GM is. They think they have at least Stephanie in their back pocket. So, therefore, they can make a fool out of Angle as much as they want. Well, they did so much tonight that they got their foot stuck in their mouth by Angle, by the match that we're going to have later on in the night with Zayn versus Lashley and Strowman. And you want to know how that happens? How that match happens? Just wait, it's coming up. Fletch, take it.
Yes, indeed. All right. So with that said, we're just gonna move right along here, and the next thing that we had, let me see if I can get it. All right. Well, it ended up being a tag team match, as it was Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. Yes, they are now a team, apparently. And they went up against Titus Worldwide, Titus O'Neil, and Apollo Crews with the lovely Dana Brooke. And this one ended pretty fast. 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler destroys Titus Worldwide. You know what? I'm not going to save you guys the time here. Automatic cutout. No need to talk about this fight. I think Anthony would have wanted me to call cutout on this anyway. So definitely that was done. Then we had an interesting backstage segment. It was Chad Gable with Kurt Angle. Nice little interaction. Chad getting an opportunity to be a singles guy. Well, it looks like he gets his opportunity right away. Basically, it was that he basically got into a little brouhaha with Jinder Mahal. Jinder basically was griping over the fact that about him losing the U.S. title, that he would get it back and actually demanded to go back to SmackDown Live. And okay, at that moment, no. Do not do that. We don't need him now. We don't need him on SmackDown Live. We got nothing for him. He lost the title. We're happy with who we got on SmackDown Live. If you're gonna do a trade, maybe do it for R-Truth. But other than that, no, not gonna happen on my watch. So Kurt Angle did make an announcement later on right then and there. Jinder Mahal one-on-one with Chad Gable, winner of the bout in 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Thanks to the Colossus, Jinder Mahal wins the match. All right. Who gets it? Didi? Is it yours, my love?
It wasn't Jinder who won the match. It was Chad who won the match.
Apparently okay. You know what? I'm gonna say this. No, it's not a dipsy do botcheroo on my part, because I got ProWrestling.net. It actually, and I'll even show you guys. So I'm gonna show you why I'm not lying about this. It actually has them saying that Jinder Mahal won the match.
So they're wrong, then, because
there it is. No, there it is. You see?
No.
I'll even highlight it. Hold on. Let me highlight it.
I'm mobile. I can't see anything.
Oh, jeez. I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. Present to everyone. Let me get this off. I don't think you can see it. Bullet, can you see it on your end? Because I got it highlighted.
Well,
because I'm
talking about.
Because I'm showing her I'm trying to show her the mistake, and she's saying she can't see it.
I don't see it either.
You don't see it either? Okay, so.
Okay, right. I turn my camera around.
Hold on. But what I'll do is I'll do this. Hold on. I'm gonna send you guys both a message.
Okay.
So this is what it's saying on. This is what it was saying. So that's what it says right there. It says Jinder Mahal pinned Chad Gable at 8 minutes and 50 seconds. So this is actually from the actual website. This is from ProWrestling.net. So
they're wrong, because not only did I take my own notes where I marked Gable as the winner, 411 Mania also has Gable defeating Jinder Mahal in 5 minutes and 45 seconds via pin.
All right, so apparently the egg is on Jason Powell and ProWrestling.net tonight, because they just led me down the wrong path. They literally just threw They literally
Yeah.
try to throw me under the bus here.
Well,
Nice
I'm not
job,
throwing under the
fellas.
bus, but yeah, I wanted to let you know that they are wrong. It was Chad Gable who defeated Jinder Mahal.
Yep.
So, because
All
Mahal
right.
wouldn't release the hold, that's why. After let's see, I'm trying to. Okay, Gable fights out of the. I don't even know how to pronounce it.
The Colossus.
Yes, the Colossus to get the win with the Bret Hart off the ropes as Mahal wouldn't release the hold. So that's kind of how the outcome went.
All right, so it's all yours then.
It was a solid match. It is a surprise that Gable won the match, but he really did really well on this match. I mean, he was selling the match like you would, like any champ would do it. I definitely like the fact that he did win this match, and it's showing Mahal and everybody that that he's not the greatest as he's been saying, and it's not looking good for Mahal going into the pay-per-view on Friday. But hey, that doesn't mean he's going to win. Doesn't mean he's going to lose. But he doesn't have that momentum going into that match. So not much more I have to say about it. It's about 2.5 star fight. So I'll toss it back to you.
Yeah, solid match, no doubt about it. I'll give it about 2.25 stars. It was brilliantly done. Chad Gable, big win for him, and a lot of people were hoping that Gable gets a nice little push, because of the fact that he's definitely athletic, very gifted, a really good wrestler given the opportunity. And I'm gonna say this: a big opportunity, a big chance. Who knows? Maybe this might be that momentum that maybe Chad Gable gets a mega push down the line. Maybe a future Intercontinental run. I don't think he's going to be a Universal Champion because I just don't see him as that, but I don't think an Intercontinental title run is definitely out of the picture. No doubt about that. So, with that said, Michael Bullock, we give it to you. I give it about 2.5 stars. I thought this was a solid fight.
Yeah, I'll give it about 2.5. I mean, I thought it was a good match for what it was. I mean, yes, he won it. I mean, Chad Gable won it with the roll up, but I thought in other parts of the match, I thought he looked impressive. So, yeah, I mean, somewhere down the line, I mean, he could be an Intercontinental Champion, but yeah, I do agree. Universal title definitely out of a picture. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So let's just move on, Fletch.
All right, coming up next, we had that fight that we were talking about earlier in the evening. Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. The winners of the bout in 12 minutes and 5 seconds. It was Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley. Strowman with the running power slam on Sami Zayn for the 1, 2, 3. And, well, I'm not really one to do it, but Michael Bullock, Strowman won it. We already know what that means.
Roar!
Right on cue. The good fight. Good match. I definitely liked it. 2.5. I'm gonna give this about 2.5 stars. 12 minutes and 5 seconds. I could easily probably call this maybe the fight of the night. I mean, by default. I mean, look, solid fight. Everybody played their part awfully well. It wasn't really an amazing main event. I mean, it was definitely red hot. It definitely shined a light on Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they definitely worked pretty well. But Strowman and Bobby Lashley, not bad of the tag team, guys. I know a lot of people were saying maybe this should have been the team at WrestleMania because of the fact that, a lot of people were thinking, oh, you really could have made this a lot more stronger and this and that. But, a lot of people were thinking, Strowman was fine, whatever. But a lot of people felt like, they didn't really need to go the comedy route at WrestleMania instead of trying to, instead of having, getting this little kid, Nicholas, bringing him into the ring at WrestleMania, a big moment for him. And, to have that happen where maybe you could utilize and use maybe a guy like Drew McIntyre, maybe a guy like Bobby Lashley, somebody that we were predicting to see at WrestleMania, make it a little more legitimate. But, it is what it is. So, solid fight, good match. Mike Bullock, it's yours.
What did you give it, Fletch?
2.5 to 3.
Yeah, that's where I would go. 2.5 to 3, I think, is the correct rating as well. I mean, yeah, you pretty much touched on everything, Fletch. So there's really nothing more for me to say. So I'm giving it to Dee Woodson now.
Yeah, this was a good match. It was fun to watch. Kevin Owens and Sammy were, did their good little heel bit like they always do. And, the crowd loved the whole thing. They really liked, the fact that Lashley and Strowman was pretty much destroying Kevin Owens on the outside and Sammy on the inside, and watching Lashley actually chase Sammy down up that ramp. I mean, that right there was classic. Definitely like you said, by default, the match of the night. I'm going to go with a solid 3 stars. But yeah, I mean, this was definitely a good match. Strowman and Lashley, they do look like they could be a very viable tag team, and very good chemistry together. And seeing Strowman destroy Kevin Owens, I couldn't help but sit there and laugh, at him running around out there and giving him a clothesline and him nearly running it into the, Kevin going through the wall. So, I mean, it was just a very good match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, not much more I have to say about it. Fletch, it's back to you.
Next thing we had was a whole bunch of filler stuff after that. No Way Jose had a little interaction with Baron Corbin. Looks like there's gonna be a definite rivalry between the two of them coming down the pipeline. Then there was an Alexa Bliss PSA, which I'm not even gonna go there because I don't want Dee Woodson to explode, because she probably will. So it was basically her pretty much throwing an anti-Nia Jax little
basically her throwing a bunch of BS out there.
Yeah, well, I was gonna try to put it mildly, but you kind of went in. So then we had I'll call this a cutout. Finn Balor and Seth Rollins versus Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. Balor and Rollins wins the match at 4 minutes and 55 seconds. That led us into the main event of the evening. And yes, for the first time in a little bit, it was ladies' night. The ladies get to close the show. A 10-woman tag. It was Ember Moon, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Natalya, and the reigning, defending Raw Women's Champion, Nia Jax, goes up against Mickie James, Alexa Bliss, and the Riot Squad, Ruby Riot, Sarah Logan, and Liv Morgan. When it was all said and done, the fight ends in a DQ as Alexa, Mickey, Ruby, Sarah, and Liv won because during the fight, Natalya got hurt. She injured her leg. She was in some pain. She was definitely in some big time trouble. She got the sharpshooter on. I believe she got it on Mickey James got hooked into the sharpshooter, and then Sarah Logan did a chop block right on the knee and injured Natalya in the process. Referees, trainers, they all ran down to check on Natalya, but Mickey took it personal, went after Natalya, beating her down, kicking her on the leg, prompting Ronda Rousey to come out, and then Ronda does the judo throw, then puts the cross armbar on Mickey James, but at that point, the referee saw it, calls for the bell, DQ victory for Mickey James, Alexa Bliss, and the Riot Squad at 15 minutes and 20 seconds. Okay, I believe this goes to Michael Bullock. So, Bullock, give me your thoughts on this. Ronda helps Natalya, but because of her interfering, she cost Natalya the fight, and her team the fight, for that matter.
Yeah, he basically cost Natalya's team the match because, like you said, Ronda was saving Natalya from that beatdown of Mickey James on that injured knee, and just seeing the look on Mickey James' face when she was laughing and all that after Natalya got hurt and ended up being her down. Didn't it remind you of the psychotic Mickey James, the one that she was just flat out pretty much there.
A la WrestleMania 22, leading into WrestleMania 22, the obsessed fan with Trish.
I mean, didn't it remind you of that, Fletch, when she did that?
Yeah, it did. I agree.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm like, Psycho Mickey James is back, and I'm like, this is not cool. And yeah, well, she took a cheap shot at Ronda Rousey. Well, I'm not quite sure that was the smartest move by Mickey James, because she ended up in that arm bar, and let's just say her arm's hurting now. So yeah, so as far as the match goes, because it ended in a DQ, I'm only going to give it 2.5 stars for the effort. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. And before I give it to Dee Woodson, I just got word that it's official at Backlash. Nia Jax will defend the Raw Women's title against Alexa Bliss. So Dee Woodson, we could get ours. I mean, Little Miss Bliss might get what's coming to her again. Another dose of squish.
Let's hope. Before I give my thoughts on the match, I just watched a exclusive on WWE's Twitter of Sami Zayn not let's see how they word it. Is less than ideal state following his match with, Kevin Owens, Strowman, and Bobby. Basically in the video, he's holding his head, he's laying down, he's just not acting right, but it could be a work, it could be real. We don't know with these two because they're good at being little shysters. Like I said at the beginning, they're little a-holes. So Getting back to the business at hand, our main event here. This pretty much kind of worked well to establish, continue the establishment of Rousey and Natalia's friendship. And it also set an upcoming tour match between, James and Rousey. So we're actually seeing the starting of a feud here between the two of them. It does, it did have that feel of, the obsessed Mickie James, like you guys were talking about. But, it also, you have Rousey, she's there to give her support for Natalya, who's injured during the match. And James is out here, just, doing her little spiel, trying to, try and get attention, try to, whatever you want to call her little idiotic antics out there. But the match was solid, and it was really good to see the use of each and every one of the girls. Did like how Amber Moon was kind of showcased there at the beginning. Definitely a 2.5-star match. And yeah, I can understand the DQ finish on this one, just because of the fact that James was egging it on. But yeah, I do hope that when we get to Backlash, we do see another Nia Jax squash on Little Miss Bliss, who thinks she's all that, especially after that godforsaken promo. Oh, I hated that thing. Because we all know Bliss would probably never share her food with anybody. I think the whole story was swapped. I think it was Jax who probably was sharing her food, and Bliss was the one who went and took the food and ate it. So that's just my opinion.
I'm pretty sure Dee Dee, you must have threw up during that announcement.
Let's just say I was a little busy while I was listening to that announcement,
or that
taking care of 2 cats. So
I'm sure Callie wanted to scratch Alexa Bliss's face, and not in a good way.
Actually, I think it was more Tiger who kind of got a little irritated with it. So,
I'm sure she's probably like, "Shut up, please."
Tiger was a little ornery tonight, so I pretty much was kind of taking care of them during it. But yeah, I almost threw up in my mouth, because I mean it's bad. It's like I said, it was just a bunch of BS that she just spilled. It didn't, it didn't really belong there. Let's put it that way. I mean, because we all know Bliss.
This is basically her way of saying, "Oh, I want my 15 seconds of fame." Well, who cares?
We all know who the real bully is in the situation, and it's not Nia Jax. Although up to them saying Alexa Bliss is the bully, yeah, Nia kind of seemed like it, but really now that table has really turned, and it's more, you can actually see now Bliss is your bully,
and you're a brat,
and she's don't get me started on describing Alexa Bliss, because we would be here all night if I had to explain Alexa Bliss or Carmella. So please, let's just not go there, because I don't want to put these poor people or you guys through that. Okay.
All I can say is, Fletch, good thing she wasn't with us last Tuesday. Otherwise, she probably would have wanted to leave.
I would say save the ammunition for tomorrow night about Carmella. Yeah. And at least we'll leave it at that point. It's time for the overall review before this thing really gets out of hand. And Dee Dee Woodson, I'll let you lead off.
Well, it wasn't the best Raw in the world. I'm going to give it probably about 6 stars. But of course, it wasn't the worst either. I think we had the worst a few weeks ago. But I mean, it was still strong. They are getting better on storylines. But then, of course, you still had some of the stupid stuff in here as well. But, they did highlight some of the new talent that they brought in, either from NXT or SmackDown. They highlighted them. They let some of them win, although I don't quite agree with Elias winning, but that's just my opinion. I think they should have highlighted the new talent being Bobby Roode over Elias, but they're giving Elias his push right now, so we just have to kind of go with it. The put together tag teams of the Woken Warriors and Dolph and McIntyre, they looked really good, really strong. Even Lashley and Strowman looked really good. Seth and Finn, you pretty much knew how that one was going to end. So, yeah, it was kind of a strong show, but also at the same time, it had some weak segments. But the strongest part of the whole show was just the fact that it did build storylines. It did give you a push with certain superstars going into our Friday night pay-per-view, or Friday afternoon, I guess it is, pay-per-view, with the 50-man Rumble and all the other little goodies we have to look forward to. So not much more I'm going to say about it. I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow on SmackDown. Only reason I missed last week is doctor put me on new medication. It knocked me out, so we're all good right now. I should be there tomorrow night, so see you all then.
And it'll actually be at 10 p.m. Eastern, Dee Dee, so we'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Good night. And I'm gonna harp with what Dee Dee said. I'm gonna give this about 6 to 6.5 out of 10. It was a good show. I mean, yes, it did show a lot of the good talent from the Raw Superstar shakeup. Yes, Bobby Roode did suffer a loss, which probably was inexplicable, but everybody else played their parts really well, and thus, they used a lot of the good guys. They didn't use the enhancement talent. They didn't use, the guys that you thought that, oh God, why did they bring him over? No, they all utilized all the people that they needed to use, all the, what we considered were the top guys who were coming in, and they did a really good job with a lot of them. Good storyline characterization. They hyped a lot about the greatest Royal Rumble going down on Friday. I mean, there's a lot of hype that they did on this show. They talked about the WWE Universal title fight, Lesnar versus Reigns. They talked about the tag team situation. You got some really good interaction, even some guys who probably will be there. And plus, to have the women main event, remember, there are no women that will be on this show. And that's a major, major, major thing. I wonder if SmackDown Live is going to do the same thing. Will they let the women showcase on their main event so that the women gets their love tomorrow night? Very interesting to see. Very interesting to watch. We will find out. 6 to 6.5 out of 10 is my rating. Michael Bullock, it's all yours, my friend.
Yeah, 6.5 out of 10. I'm gonna give it. I mean, I thought it was a good, not great show, to say the very least. I mean, I like how they hyped this greatest Royal Rumble this Friday with talking about all the matches that'll be going down, and yeah, and you want and like you said, Fletch. I mean, and you wonder with the women main eventing on Raw, you wonder if they're going to do the same tomorrow night on SmackDown Live because of none of the women will be involved at the Greatest Royal Rumble event on Friday. So yeah, we'll definitely have to wait and see. So great job tonight with a good show, not great. 6.5 out of 10. So now it's time to see how SmackDown Live responds with their final show before the Greatest Royal Rumble. I mean, what can we expect from Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what else can we expect with the SmackDown Tag Team titles being on the line? Could we expect a little something from the Usos and the Bludgeon Brothers? And could Rusev cut a little promo about his casket match against the Undertaker?
It's possible.
And
plus Jeff Hardy. He's got a big title fight. He's got to put that belt on the line. And I believe it's against Jinder Mahal. I think they haven't.
Yeah, it is against Jinder Mahal.
He's re-implemented the rematch clause. So yeah, Jeff Hardy will have to put the title on the line against Jinder Mahal. So does the belt go back to Raw if Jinder wins?
And the other thing to keep an eye out is what to expect from some of the other superstars from the shakeup. I mean, will we get to see the two other new arrivals from NXT, Insanity and Fletch's and favorite girls, Zelina Vega and Andrade Cien Almas.
Yeah, Andrade Cien Almas. We'll see. It's going to be interesting, and it's going down tomorrow night. And more importantly, guys, when that happens, that means Cerebral Smack Talk happens. We'll have it immediately after SmackDown Live goes off the air, right here on Braves Fan 95. Unfortunately, there is no Tony's Take, and I know Anthony is really angry about it.
Off.
Well, because of the fact that tonight he was going to review TNA Redemption that went down last night, and from all attempted purposes and from all indications, tremendous show from Impact Wrestling. They actually have changed the look of Impact. Brand new championship belts were created. A new women's title or a new knockouts title, new tag team titles, and a TNA and an Impact Wrestling World title was all created as well. And they actually did away with the Grand Championship. The Grand Championship is no more. It's gone. They phased it out. And I think a lot of people will agree, smart decision. Plus, not only that, but there was also a new champion's crowned. So we'll get into all that. Hopefully, Anthony will get into that next week. And plus, I know he wanted to talk about 205 Live and talk about the show from Providence. And I think Michael Blick and we can both agree there was a match that was a 5-star classic.
Oh, yes.
And it was a tag team match. Well, we'll briefly talk about it. The first fight of the night was Arya Daivari versus Mustafa Ali, which was a decent fight, about 2 stars, no doubt about it. We'll toss that away. Then there was Gentleman Jack Gallagher and the Brian Kendrick in a tag team fight against 2 local guys. Basically, that was a squash, and we're not going to get into that. But the one fight that I know Anthony wanted us to get into, tag team tornado match, as it was Gran Metalik and Gran Metalik and oh boy, I'm drawing a blank here. It wasn't who was it?
It was Hideo Itami and Akira Tozawa against Gran Metalik and Lince Dorado. And oh my God. The 5-star classic.
Definitely the best match of the entire show. Like, even better than anything that SmackDown brought to the table, it was the fight of the night. And this was the 205 fight of the year. Like, hands down, no arguments. They shut it down. They shut the Civic Center down with this amazing fight. Michael Bullock, I think we can say this made us a fan of 205 Live after this amazing match.
And if you're not a fan of 205 Live, you got to go out of your way to watch this match.
Oh yes, WWE Network, get it. Like, for just for this one match alone, you have to see this. Go to YouTube if they have it. Just go out of your way to see this fight because this was freaking awesome.
And Derek Ferrera, please watch it and give the Cruiserweight some credit for once.
Yeah, I agree. This was definitely a match that needs to be seen for any fan who is questioning the Cruiserweight division, or even would say, like, basically would pass up on the Cruiserweight division. And let me tell you, we were in the arena and a lot of the fans were leaving. Man, you missed yourselves a hell of a match. If you would have been there, this would have been, without a doubt, the best match of the evening, without a doubt. So that's the 205 Live review in about a minute or so. Thank you, Michael Bullock. Thank you, Didi Woodson. Of course, as always, tomorrow night is Cerebral Smack Talk on BraceFan 95, 10 p.m. Eastern, immediately after the show goes off the air, and that's SmackDown Live, as this was also going to be the first show since the Superstar shakeup, and on top of that, their go home to the Greatest Royal Rumble, and there's really nothing more to say. So for Michael Bullock, for Didi Woodson, in spirit, Anthony Foyle, and Derek Ferrera, I'm Mike Fletcher. Have a good night, everybody. And as Anthony would always say, there's always one thing you can always remember, and that is wrestling is indeed actually real. For all of us here, so long for now.